Hello, and welcome back to ArchoniaFest Day 3, the penultimate game of the event. It's just the four of us this time. Woohoo! These are the diehards. This is the core crew here. We've played this game a lot of times. Vieja, Escuela, Pulp. Love it. Always want to come back to it. Love the genre. Love the whole deal. Mia's always run this for us. What are we doing today, Mia?
All right. I just want me to give you a quick lowdown of the game itself, and then maybe a brief synopsis of what we got going. All right. Well, Vieja la Escuela Pulp, or Old School Pulp, is based on that genre, which is broad and encompassing. And of course, it's called pulp based on the types of low-quality paper that were used in the 1920s, of course, to keep the cost down and everything else. But the genre covers a vast array of different things: detectives, horror, war stories, mysteries, western, science fictions, pirates, privateers, and so on. When I run this, I tend to focus more on the action-adventure side of things. Maybe we'll lean some sci-fi into it at some point, but the game does allow you to tell stories the first half of the 20th century and beyond. But today we're playing a game titled, that I've written myself, titled The Devil's Gold. We are in 1920s Louisiana, New Orleans specifically. And I sent a couple of handouts out to the players concerning, there's a news article. Let me just pull that up. Tell the public about it. New Orleans Gazette, October 23rd, 1921. There is a blood moon approaching, a celestial event that sparks unease. This Wednesday night, October 27th, New Orleans will witness a rare lunar event, which is an actual event that took place in 1921. I went looking for full moon or blood moon, eclipses or blood moon, and that just happened to be the date. And also to kick things off, our character Rick Carter, who is a sidekick to, I believe, Amelia Brown, has gotten a telegram from his brother. States, important matters at hand. Meet me at the Blue Orchid Speakeasy, October 27th, 8 p.m. Come alone. Don't trust anyone. Elias. Elias being his younger brother. Right. And with that, before we get officially into it, have you guys introduce your characters.
All right. Now, I think we decided I'm actually Marion's sidekick, which makes me a...
Marion's? Okay. Yeah, she's a dilettante. And
she hired me to be kind of an assistant, I guess. Prior to that, I was in the Army, and I was a tracker in the Army. So sidekick is my class. I have the nickname Jeeves because I kind of do everything that Marion tells me to. And let's see, I have my talents are lucky, which lets me repeat a check with advantage once a session, and trusty companion, which grants +1 to manipulation or lore checks for my boss. And if I ever gain any pulp points, I can also use it on other people. That's all for me.
Oh, perfect. So I am Marion Jones. I am a taunt. My family made a lot of money with the railroad. So I've never had to really worry about money, but I always liked adventures. So I am a self-taught anthropologist, Egyptologist. But when I'm not running around the globe with my team, I run a bar on the banks of the Mississippi. And I like to do a lot of things with Amelia. So me and Amelia have done a lot of adventures and excavating and those types of things. And as you hear, Rick is my assistant. So he's my driver. He's my informant. He's my everything. If I need something done, Rick's the guy I call.
Yeah, I wrote butler at first, but I wanted to be American. And I don't know if Americans are butlers. I don't know.
Probably I was going to say you're even my butler at times. Depending on
your inspiration for Rick though was
Race Bannon.
Rick Bannon, right, from the Johnny Quest, or Race Bannon, all right, okay. Miriam, you were done with your intro.
Yep.
Apologies, I may have stepped on you there. Amelia, then,
all right. I am Amelia Brown. I am playing the scoundrel. I went to school studying anthropology and Egyptology. Currently, basically I like a lot of adventure and stuff and have a knack for finding things. So I get hired a lot to find the hard to get things. Prior to that, I was a World War I bomber pilot. I usually call on Marion to join me, who calls on Rick to join us.
And being a World War I bomber pilot entails flying some of those rickety, paper-thin, big airplanes. So that's pretty brave stuff. So very brave. All right, y'all ready to roll with this?
Let's do it.
Figuratively and literally as we go. All right, chapter 1. We'll just call him that. The Last Man Who Knew. The jazz is hot and the gin is cold. The night air in New Orleans is thick with the scent of bayou mist and gasoline fumes. The famous Blue Orchid speakeasy is packed with gamblers, grifters, and gangsters, sipping illegal hooch while a sultry-voiced singer croons on stage. The river don't give any secrets. The bones, they tell no lies. The gold is a weight that will drown ya when the devil comes to rise. Oh, honey, you best start running. Don't look back, don't slow. The swamp gonna take what it's owed, child, and it don't ever let go. Miriam, as the song continues, I imagine you are sitting at the bar swirling a shot of something strong. A familiar voice cuts through the din. Well, 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 if it ain't the queen of the bottle battle herself. Little Frank Roscoe, a nickname unsuited for a man his size, settles onto the stool beside you. His grin is lazy, but his eyes are sharp. He taps the bar with his beefy hands, signaling the bartender.
Hey, Little, what's going on?
Hey, all things are good. It's good to see you down here again. What do you say, champ? A rematch? Excuse me, a rematch? Or are you still nursing that roll me a constitution check real quick? Was it a loss or was it a win?
19.
A rematch. Oh, or are you still nursing that win in Chicago?
Oh, no. I'm always up for a rematch.
Well, me too. Maybe we can get something going here in a little bit. As I just arrived, I'd like to mingle a bit, get to know some folks. He kind of looks around and he's like, Marion, Amelia, it's nice to see you. And who's this gentleman I see you with here now? I don't remember him traveling with you before.
Oh, this is my man, Rick.
Hey, I'm Rick.
His very large, very beefy hand takes yours. He shakes. He doesn't do the intimidating hand squeeze. Like, it's nice to meet you guys. It's nice to meet you. And as he turns to sit back down, a thin man stumbles towards you, Rick. He bumps into little Frank as he passes. His hands shake as he clutches a whiskey glass. He beckons you close, frantic.
I'll lean in.
You're here to meet you. Oh, sorry. You're here to meet your brother Elias. I'm Jean-Baptiste Leclerc. And he pauses. His business partner.
Is that right? What kind of business are you doing with my brother? Right. What kind of business are you doing with my brother?
As you ask him this question, he pauses for a moment, looks you in the eye. And Jean-Baptiste is a gaunt, haunted-eye man with sun-baked skin and a patchy beard. He is in rumpled clothes and he stinks of sweat and swamp water. As you ask him that question, you see over his shoulder that people have turned and are watching. And he's like, well, it's about the devil's gold. It's real.
Do I know what he's talking about?
Anyone within earshot, which would be Miriam and Amelia, can do a lore check to understand what he's talking about.
Okay.
Before he actually explains.
Is that a D20?
Yeah,
or
D20, like and then your lore. Yeah, then your lore.
Or intelligence.
I got a
or lore. It's a lore roll.
8, but I don't.
Yeah, you don't add your attribute, just the skill. I got everyone.
Okay.
I got a 6.
Did you hear my number? I got 12.
12. Marion, you got 8? Okay. You are not familiar with this particular story. Jean-Baptiste, he lowers his voice even further. He's like, well, the gold, it's a large cache of Confederate gold was hidden in the bayou. Your brother and I were looking for it.
Okay. Why isn't he here?
Well, we thought we were close, thought we were being smart, but it ain't just gold. Someone watches over it. Something waits. And in the dim light, you catch the blackened veins that pulse beneath his skin and the sweat pouring off of his forehead. And his voice drops even further to answer your question, Rick. I tried to get him out, but I left him out there in the bayou. I didn't have a chance. Duval's men.
I'm going to grab this guy by his shirt.
Oh, and I'll turn to Amelia and whisper,
You left my brother somewhere to die?
Okay. And I'm sorry, what was that, Miriam?
Oh, I said I turned to Amelia and whispered, God, I hate the swamp.
Oh, goodness.
Stinks.
And Rick, excuse me, you've grabbed him by the shirt. Are you shaking him a bit, or are you just kind of like pulling him close to intimidate him?
Yeah, unintentionally, I'm probably like shaking him as I speak, yeah.
He like leans back. He kind of pulls away from you just as much as he can in your grip. You know, he's thin, he's weakened. He can't get away from you. He's like, I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. And he swallows hard and his eyes flick to the door. And I'm sorry I left him out there. Again, Duvall's men, they won't just kill you. They'll make you wish they had.
So did you send me that telegram instead of him?
No, he sent that, and then we left out into the swamp that day.
Take me out there.
Please let me go.
I let him go. Boss?
Just as you say that. Blam. Okay.
I was just going to tell Marion I got to go attend to business, but go on with the blam, by all means.
It sounds like we will attend to business, Rick. We're not going to let you go out there on your own.
Absolutely not.
I got this Weasley guy with me.
It doesn't look like much.
Yeah, I think you'll need more than that.
All right. As you're having this conversation, suddenly, blam, the door slams open. And a handful of men step inside, their silhouettes sharp against the hazy glow of the street lamps outside. Their hands rest easily on their pistols. And Jean-Baptiste, like, again, they'll kill you. He exhales sharply as the music stops, and the thugs in sweat-darkened suits lock eyes with him like a hanging rope. Leclerc curses, damn, knocking over his whiskey as he pushes away from you. And then he turns, he's like, I can't stay. Meet me at Mary Laveau's tomb. And then he shoves a scrap of paper into your hand, Rick.
Mary Laveau. All right. What's on the paper?
It has some smudged ink. As you say that and you're asking this question, you have a quick moment to look at it as these men kind of rush in and try and chase after Jean-Baptiste, who's escaped through a back door. But the piece of paper, it says, Madame, I throw names at you guys, Madame Dubrow. Keep walking if you see her on the street. If she smiles, cross the road. If she calls your name, it's already too late.
Interesting. Would you mind pasting that in the Discord for reference?
Oh, yeah, sure. Discord.
Okay.
Do we know the name Dubrow?
So we've got a delay happening on the video call that's making it hard to communicate clearly. It seems to be several seconds.
Okay, so you read the scrap of paper. Miriam, you just asked the question. I apologize.
Oh, I said, do we know the name Dubrow?
It's Duval. I may have mispronounced it earlier. Duval. Duval is the guy's name.
Oh, wow.
You can do a lore check to see if you know him by name.
I meant the guy, the woman that is mentioned in the letter, in the note.
Miriam Boudreau. Yeah, Boudreau.
Boudreau.
Yeah, same thing. Same thing. You can do a lore check. It's a target of 11. Yeah.
I got a 12.
Okay. You recall that Madame Dubrow is a local quote unquote voodoo priestess. I mean, no disrespect to any religion, but Madame Dubrow is a voodoo priestess that practices in the area, who is renowned for her ability to do what she does.
And what do we know about the Duvals as a gang?
Did you roll a lore on that check?
I will do that.
With everyone rolling lore checks all night.
17.
17. There's like 6 of them that have poured through the door.
I think we should get out of here and find out what's going on with his brother. We don't want to necessarily make ourselves known that we are going to be involved in this gold.
Yeah, say we run.
Then give me a DC 14 stealth check, since they sort of did spot Rick have a hold of the guy by the shirt.
I have failed that.
Okay.
Oh, God. Me too.
I got a 17.
All right. Miriam just sort of like blends into the crowd. But the others are coming right at Amelia and Rick. As you have the opportunity to slip out the back door, Miriam, unaccosted. Amelia and Rick, they see you try to get away, but they pull their pistols and like, stop right there. Duval's going to want to speak to you.
Well,
what?
And
why do I care about that? Why do I care?
Right.
Some
why do
guy
we
named
care?
Duval wants to speak to me. I don't want to speak to him. I'm leaving.
What do we have to do with any of this?
We saw you talking to a Leclerc.
Good
Yeah, he
for
was
you.
slop drunk.
All right, a guy pulls a gun and points it at you, Rick.
How close is he?
He's about 20 feet away, moving through across the now almost vacant floor, pushing tables and chairs aside. Screak, screak as wood creaks on the floor.
I got a pretty good lunging jab, but not from 20 feet. All right.
And I'm going to stay very calm and relaxed at the bar, like I don't give two shits what's happening. Just sipping on my drink.
Okay. So let's roll an initiative check. There really is no initiative in this game. We'll just decide, like a Morkborg, I'll roll a d6, and that's you guys going first. So you may act in any particular order that you so choose.
Okay, he's pointing a gun at me, so maybe one of you guys should go first, since you're kind of peripheral to his attention right now.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and pull out my pistol and point it at him and say, two can play this game. We can shoot this place up, or for what? Cops will be down here in no time.
They hesitate briefly. Can you give me a manipulation roll on that?
Yep.
I believe you have a score of 1. Yeah, we're just
20. That was a natural 20.
Oh,
plus
good
1.
Lord. All right. Well, with that, they all kind of back down. It's like, well, Duval's going to want anyone alive that's associated with Leclerc. But it seems like, and he looks over at Rick, he's like, seems like you got beef with Leclerc too, so we'll let you go for now, but steer clear. Don't get in our way.
Cleric? What cleric?
Jean-Baptiste Leclerc.
Oh, the guy.
Jean-Baptiste. He is the scrawny, skinny guy.
Yeah, I didn't write down his last name.
The drunk. Okay, so his name is.
Sorry, I'll paste some of those again in the.
Well, actually, the question I was going to ask is, does Rick know this cleric guy? I mean, he didn't say his name. You said his name, but guy didn't say his name.
He didn't introduce himself?
He introduced himself as Jean-Baptiste Leclerc.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Elias's business partner, air quoting all over the place.
Yeah, business.
Oh, okay. He did introduce himself. I just thought he introduced himself as the business partner. Sorry. Damn, well, I guess there was that.
And then there's Mr. Duval. And now that they've kind of like backed out and headed out into the streets, you hear a gunshot off in the distance.
Do you think they got to him?
I think we should probably head in that direction.
Let's go. Sorry, boss. I don't mean to keep telling
So
everyone.
I've got a long trench. No, it's okay, Rick. We'll follow your lead, sort of.
That's not really how. I mean,
And I have a long dress, like a trench coat, over my lap, and I'm going to pull it up, and you can discreetly see that I've got my shotgun under my coat as we get up.
I think I'm the only one who.
And you're going to venture out the back door or the front door?
Can't use firearms. Back, right? Well, no, here anymore. So let's go at the front.
All right. As you exit out the front door, it is night. Again, it's in the early fall season, 8 o'clock ish, maybe about 8:30 at this time. And you can't really tell where that gunshot came from, as you heard it echo into the speakeasy. But Jean-Baptiste had asked you to meet him at Marie Laveau's tomb, which is a famous landmark in the St. Louis, let me get this correct here, the St. Louis Cemetery number 1, which is located on Basin Street, I believe, on the corner of Basin and St. Louis Street.
Why don't we head that direction, you guys? Settle ourselves in the shadows.
Okay.
I think that's a great idea.
All right. You're going to sneak down the street as best you can. Give me it's not too difficult, so I'm not going to have you roll. So you're able to sneak down the street relatively well. A couple of blocks over, you get to the St. Louis Cemetery. I guess for the record, I think there's 3 of them, 1, 2, and 3. But you are going to this one, number 1. As you arrive at the gates, on your way there, down an alleyway, you see a 3-legged dog looking out at you, just kind of casually staring at you from the darkness. As you approach the graveyard of the cemetery, there's a boy.
Rhubarb?
Sorry, go ahead.
Is his name Rhubarb?
The dog? It could be. I mean, you don't know.
That's a little unusual. Sorry. That's a little unusual, seeing a 3-legged dog.
Happens.
It does happen. Let me see. There's kind of a supernatural connection to that, but in the lore of the area. But as you arrive at the graveyard, a boy sits on a cracked stone bench outside the cemetery, with his hands neatly folded in his lap. His clothes are old, with frayed suspenders over a thin cotton shirt. His pants cut just above the ankle. His pale, bare feet dangle over the dark dirt. As you pass, his head tilts slightly. He looks at you. You ain't supposed to be here.
Anybody come through here, kid?
He kind of looks over his shoulder. Like, yeah, lots of people come in here all the time. I'm here. So, yeah.
Scrawny drunk guy?
Yeah, maybe. I see lots of scrawny drunk people. This is...
Recently? Maybe running, sweaty?
He kind of gets this questioning look on his face. Recently?
Like, within the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Oh.
How long it's...
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, some guy went in there.
Really?
Thanks.
What are we doing?
So I'll say, thanks, kid. I'll flip him a coin, and I'll say, you better scoot on out of here. Things could get hairy. All three-legged dog or not,
my grandma.
Gotta find Rick's brother.
I know lots of people who have three-legged dogs, but
they don't even know they're missing a leg.
No, they don't care.
No, yeah.
But this is New Orleans.
Superstition. I'd like to definitely stay in the shadows as we make our way towards this tombstone.
It's a crypt. These
a mausoleum type thing.
Yeah, these graveyards are like packed wall to wall with stone crypts. I mean, there's no like headstones or anything. But as you enter the cemetery, the towering crypts throw lengthy shadows in the wavering light of the distant street lamps. And a mourning dove coos somewhere, but the sound is lost in an ensuing thick hush. As you make your way through, you find Jean-Baptiste slumped against the weathered white tomb of Mary Laveau, his breath ragged and wet, his hands trembling. One hand pressed against the dark stain spreading across his side. Blood pools at his waist, dripping sluggishly into the hungry earth. His voice is hoarse. His voice is hoarse and urgent. The map, it's underneath. His hand gestures towards the corner of the crypt.
I will look under that corner of the crypt.
As you look, you find the stone itself is very solid and in place, and there's a sigil carved into the stone. And he's like, it won't move for just anybody. It wants a piece of you.
Okay, we're back. Sorry about that, everyone. We're doing our best. Been a long week. The old compy's tired.
We're back. And let's see, we left off, Amelia, you're just sort of like still hiding in the shadows while Miriam and Rick deal with Jean-Baptiste dying.
Yeah, as long as they look like they are doing fine, I will stay hidden in case.
And the stone that Rick was looking at and tried to move, would not move, has, again, a sigil carved in it.
Do we recognize this sigil?
And it's pretty clear to you with your lore check, not even need to roll, that it is a blood sigil that you need to. It requires blood to activate the magic of this thing.
Uh-oh.
While Rick's going at it with a crowbar.
Yeah, I wasn't sure anyone heard that part.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, because Miriam was like, tried to use the stick, and Jean-Baptiste was like, my blood doesn't work anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard my blood doesn't work anymore, and I was like, why are we trying blood? Why is that what we're doing?
But now Miriam got a good look at it. It's a blood sigil. Blood magic. Needs somebody to spill blood.
Well, and with somebody like myself who is into the anthropology and Egyptology and things like that, the lore of New Orleans is definitely up my alley.
Yeah, especially if you're running a bar on the Mississippi, you get lots of travelers that are like, oh, Shakwa Bloom, the voodoo priestess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you hear all the superstition and.
Yep.
Correct.
All right.
So I'm like a little lapel pin on my shirt, and I'm just gonna prick my finger just a little and discreetly, of course. I don't know if there's people watching me. I like to keep appearances, even
if I can.
Yeah, it's pretty dark. And
if I can see you about to do it, I would stop you and say, "Do me instead," because it's my brother.
And so I will.
Yeah.
So I'll take your hand and I'll just prick your finger. There's no need to slice our palm or bleach it out.
No. Yeah.
I love that in movies when they just need one drop of blood and someone's like,
they totally slice the middle of their hand, like, oh, that's going to take like a week to heal. Okay. Okay, as the first and single drop of blood touches the cold stone, the reaction is immediate. A dull gosh, my brain is not functioning 100%. A dull hum vibrates to the stone. Deep and hungry, the sigil drinks the blood, and veins of crimson light thread through the weathered surface like a living thing. Then a low groan deep in the earth. The stone shudders, shifting. As it shifts, a dark crevice yawns open. Crevice being about head size, stone size, revealing a small, wax-sealed bundle wrapped in oilcloth.
Interesting. I will pick that up.
Okay,
and I'll stop you.
Sorry.
And as you're reaching for it, I'll stop you.
Okay.
You're like, wait, don't touch it yet. Do you see that Mr. Priestess over here or whatever?
The cleric?
Yeah.
The cleric. You saw that the cleric over here, he's puking out black blood.
Oh.
I think that we should be a little bit more careful with just grabbing anything that would be underneath the bloodstone.
Do you want we should go get that kid from before and make him grab it?
Well, why don't you, at least poke around with a stick? Maybe it's trapped. You don't know. Be careful. Don't just rush in head on there, Rick.
All right. I'll lean way back and poke at it with the crowbar, see if any gas flies up or anything.
Perfect.
I'm going to toss out my set of leather gloves in between them.
Yeah. From the darkness, these leather gloves materialize mysteriously in the air, splunk, and land at your feet.
Perfect.
All right. Yeah, I will. I don't know. I'll take the gloves and maybe I'll I'll pull my shirt up like that over my mouth, and then I'll unwrap the package.
Okay, so as you reach down and you grab the package and pull it up from under the earth, you hear a raspy voice in the wind. Not yours to take. And then it's gone.
Is there a name on it?
No, but you may roll a DC 14 communications check to see if you can understand where determine where it came from, or
no idea.
I absolutely have no idea either.
18.
From where Amelia's standing, that voice hisses through the air, and for a moment you don't quite understand why, but it reminds you of the little boy's voice that was sitting on the bench outside the cemetery.
I'll whisper out, "It's the kid. I think it's the kid."
Listen, I just want to know what's inside here. Maybe I won't even take it.
I think that's probably a very good idea. We should possibly not take it with us, but we should see what's in it so we can find your brother.
Yeah. In fact, I'll place it back in the hole and unwrap it there.
And you've got like a battery-powered torch, a little flashlight to read it in the dark.
I do have that.
Okay, inside is a piece of parchment, old and brittle, its edges darkened with time and moisture. The ink is faded in places, but the rough shape of the bayou remains clear, marked by twisting waterways and dense swampland. At the center is illustrated a building with an X marked across it, and the words scrawled near it that say, "Where the last of the gold sank, and something darker rose."
I'm gonna pull out my camera, and I'm gonna have Rick get the lighting just right so I can take a picture of it.
Now, cameras in this era are going to be pretty big.
They're gonna be,
and
well, yes, true. It's gonna have a flash bulb, and so I guess I don't. Maybe I will carry a large bag.
maybe we just draw a picture of it, boss.
Right, because we didn't bring the car. Right.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that?
Didn't bring the car. Yeah. We'll just copy.
So you get a good look. Yeah. As you do a quick sketch and copy the map, again, that X at the center with the words, "Where the last of the gold sank and something darker rose" is written there. There are a couple of strange sigils scribbled in the margins, but they are unfamiliar and unsettling in their unfamiliarness. And there's a thin red line that traces a path from the nearest river landing, winding carefully through the swamp towards the X that marks the spot. In the bottom corner, a name is written in hurried script: Lou Marcel.
You guys know this name, Lou Marcel?
And I want to make sure. I'll look, but I want to make sure we get those sigils written down just in case. Let me think about this, Lou Marcel.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I got a 18 plus 2, so 20.
On to determine if you know about Lou Marcel?
But no, yeah, Lou Marcel.
Okay. Yeah, either survival or lore check. Survival being because it's a local name. You recall mention of a bayou guide named Lou Toothpick Marcel. And he requires payment up front. And you've also heard rumors about how he insists that you bring a bag of dead chickens with you when you want to go out into the bayou.
Hey, Rick, I recognize this name.
Yeah? Who is it?
I've heard about him down in the bar. He's some sketchy guy that can take you out into the swamp, but he's always requiring chickens. And payment up front.
By the way, Marion, I don't know if you know this about having a sidekick, but anytime you and I are together, you get a +1 to any manipulation or lore check.
Oh. That's helpful.
I'm here to buff you.
Nice. Perfect.
So you make a quick copy of the map.
Yeah.
And then after a moment, the stone itself slides back into place under the corner of the crypt. And as you assume exit the cemetery, as you pass back through the iron gates, the heavy silence that has fallen upon you inside the cemetery lifts, and the distant hum of the city rushes back in. But something lingers, like something holding its breath too long. There's just this odd feeling that now weighs down on you. And where the boy had sat and vanished, you discover a small brass lantern. Its glass cracked, its oil long dried up.
It's a little weird.
Suspicious. I got a weird feeling, you guys.
Me too.
I don't like messing with voodoo stuff.
I think Rick is just refusing to recognize what genre he's in. He's like, someone left a lantern on a bench. What's What's with this weird lantern?
Does anyone pick up the lantern? Is my question. Do you take it with you?
Free lantern. I'll pick it up.
Okay. All right.
Attach it to my backpack along with my canteen and flashlight.
This lantern, as you pick it up, you feel that it has obviously no oil in it, but the flame flickers brightly for a moment. Dim blue flame.
See, now that's weird. It wasn't lit sitting on the bench, correct?
No. As soon as you touched it and picked it up, it lit on its own.
Rick, you couldn't mess with things that you're not 100% sure of.
It's very strange.
I don't know what kind of life you lived before we met, but I was 100% sure of this being a broken lantern. I'm gonna feel around the flame. Is it giving off heat?
No sense of heat coming off of it at all. Just this eerie blue flame.
Okay, so events have transpired since I picked it up that made me less than 100% sure. But before that point, this was.
You're right. Before that point, you were just like, it's just a broken lantern.
Yeah. Anyway, boss, you want it?
No, thank you, Rick. Maybe you should hold on to it, though.
Probably should. I'll keep the haunted
now that
lantern.
You've picked it up.
It's my brother that's missing. It's my brother that's missing.
That's true.
All right, so you're gonna pack it in a bag, Rick? That basically.
Am I able to get this weird blue flame to turn off?
Yeah, as soon as you set it down or take your hand off of it, the flame goes out.
Okay, then I will in fact tie it to my backpack or something so that it's. I don't want to put it in the backpack, and since it has demonstrated a tendency to light itself, but I will hang it off the backpack and not and not hold it.
A little less of a subject now.
As you're manipulating it to tie it to the backpack, the blue flame flares up a little bit brighter as a woman appears out of the fog. Her face is carved by time and sorrow, framed by the deep hood of a faded black cloak. A simple wooden cross hangs from her neck, half hidden beneath layers of old fabric. Her eyes are sharp and dark, and they fix on you. You walked with the dead tonight. Did they whisper to you? You may now, maybe, part of the bargain. As she glances back at the cemetery behind you.
What do you mean?
And she's like, what do I mean? About what? The dead speaking to you?
No. The bargain. What bargain?
The bargain. The bargain. She kind of whispers to herself.
And do I recognize her at all? Or have an inkling of who she might be?
You do not recognize her or know her from anywhere. But she looks around. She's almost like she's not there. You can almost see the light through her. It's like she's a ghost or something. And she's like, the bargain. Long ago, a church was built to seal away a dark spirit. This was the bargain. Long ago, as the church stood, the spirit remained bound. Years later, soldiers came and buried gold there, unknowingly corrupting the seal. When they returned, the bargain took its price: death, madness, or worse.
What's the name of this church?
St. Ives.
Really?
No.
I'm gonna mark that down on my little scrap notes.
So
it was named for St. Augustine's chapel.
Augustine's chapel. Okay.
Does it? Sorry.
She mentioned a ghost, and as long as the church is standing, the ghost is bound or the spirit is bound. What spirit? What spirit is bound by this church?
She takes a deep breath and some things are for you to discover. The path ahead is paved in old sins and new blood. You'll need more than prayers to reach the end. You carry something now, don't you? Something that doesn't belong to you. Something that's looking to take it back.
Well, I found this haunted lantern a minute ago.
She smiles at that. She's like, the map.
Oh, no.
Whoever left it knew what they were doing.
We didn't take the map. We copied it and left the original where it was.
Paper doesn't hold secrets, but the map itself will lead you to your doom if you are not careful.
Okay, listen, I feel like you went to a cryptic class. Can you just say what you mean? Why'd you come here?
She's purposely cryptic. If you want to see the end of this, you need the rest of the story. She turns, pointing a pony finger past the gas lamps, past the city's glow, towards the bayou's black horizon. There's a cabin, an old place rotten to the bone, sitting where the trees strangle the river. Inside you'll find a book, pages full of warnings and whispers. Read it if you've got the nerve.
I'm going to turn to Marion.
I am here.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
I was going to say, I am here because of you, because something darker walks behind you.
That's just Amelia. That's a boss's friend.
Any additional questions?
No, I'm done with this lady.
Yeah, I was gonna ask her, but I'm like, nah. I don't. I'm not gonna get any real answers.
There's thousands of rotten cabins in the bayou. We need more than just this rotten cabin to go on. So, is there anything less cryptic? Can you tell us?
The map that you had copied, there is the central X that marks the spot of the church, but there are a couple other small X's on the path to the central X. The large X at the center and some smaller X's.
So I'll say, well, maybe one of these other marks the cabin you speak of.
She looks down at the copy of the map that you have made, and she reaches out and points towards one, and she says, "Go fast. The dead ain't the only ones watching." But before she leaves, she presses a sprig of marsh sage bound in red thread into one of your hands. Or she reaches out to hand it to one of you.
I'll take it. Thank you.
And you're welcome. For the road, if you get lost, burn it. But be ready for what finds you. Then, like a shadow in the fog, she is gone. And the wind carries away the fog.
Well, she was interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to turn to these two and be like, my grandma's sister used to be like that. She never just said what she wanted to say. Like, why are you going to try and tell someone something and then not tell them the thing? You know?
Yeah, so annoying.
She could have come by and said, "Go to this cabin, guys."
Right, there's a book. Read it.
Yeah, she could have come by and said, "Hey,
I knew your brother or not.
I knew your brother.
Sometimes things are bound. Sometimes things are just bound. They can't give you all the information. They just can't. How the spirit world works.
She just wants to be dramatic. She's read too many dime novels, and she thinks it's cool to not say what you mean.
Apparently. So
you and Amelia have always been the skeptics.
It's got nothing to do with skeptic or not. Just say stuff.
Right, just speak out.
As you are having this conversation, you hear off in the distance, I think they went this way, to the cemetery.
We need to get the F out of here.
Let's go, guys. The scoot.
As you're scooting, Miriam, you took the sprig of sage with the knot tied around it. Give me a lore check so you can sort of understand what it is that you now have in your hand.
Okay, so I've got 11, and Rick
Plus 1.
Yeah.
Plus 1.
Well,
you know that this the sage. Let me just reread this myself. That the sage will guide you. As it burns, the smoke will point the direction to safety, so to speak. But it does come at a cost. It could cause visions or hallucinations as they struggle to get the word out.
rumor has it, you guys, that this could show us a safe route, but it's been tampered with, so it could cause, hallucinations and other types of things.
Great.
Just so you know why I took it, and if I ever, just to be aware, if I ever decide to catch it on fire to show us the way, we might
I'll be sure to stay out of its fumes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm keeping it.
Right.
I'll bring an extra handkerchief.
So you're going to stealth out of there. That's relatively easy. You know where the voices are coming from. You just kind of head in the opposite direction.
Cool.
So you're going to look for Lou Marcel or some other alternate route into the swamp?
I think that it'd be pretty easy for us to get information on him since I've heard of him spoken at the bar, my bar on the Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we could probably go back there and ask some of my contacts, hey, where we could find Lou.
Sounds reasonable.
Yep, you get directions to his place. It's fairly easy to find him. Where are you going to get a bag of dead chickens?
Well, it's
Louisiana. We can find
every street corner in the 20s.
Yeah.
we can probably purchase them at any backroom place or.
In fact, as soon as we're away from the graveyard, I'll just yell at the closest person, "Hey, where can I get some chickens?"
Of course, there are chickens kind of running loose around the city, but they're really hard to catch. If you've ever seen Rocky,
yeah,
yes,
you can catch a chicken, Rock. Anyway,
You've ever owned a chicken?
but there's a couple of places that prepare food that have got like some chickens hanging from like a post and whatnot. So yeah, you can purchase up a bag of a burlap bag of chickens.
All right.
we can.
I will insist on paying for the chickens that are going to save my brother.
How many chickens do you buy?
It said we need a bag of dead chickens. How many is a bag? Like 5?
Well, you think about a burlap sack. It's about a yard wide at the top and, about 2 feet wide at the top and maybe 3 feet long.
Maybe the contact that I asked about where we could find him, maybe I asked, so how many chickens does he usually request for a job?
Man, I don't know. No more than 6, no less than 3.
Oh,
Probably
just be-
we should grab
fries,
6.
chicken.
Oh, we should just grab 6.
I gotta
However
say
many
5
you
or
can
6.
stuff in the bag.
Yeah. 5 or 6 chickens.
Heavy bag.
Right. So, do a quick jump cut. We arrive. As you step onto the dock, Toothpick. I cannot speak.
Right?
Toothpick Lou Marcel leans lazily against his boat, a toothpick rolling from one corner of his mouth to his other. His eyes on you. He scans you up and down, smirks a little bit, and he's like, he looks at that bag in your hands, like, tell me you brought some dead chickens, because if you can't find a dead chicken in New Orleans, you ain't looking hard enough.
Yeah, I got some chickens. We got bag of dead chickens.
All right, where is it you need me to take you?
What's the name of the church again?
Are we going there?
Augustine's. Yeah, Augustine's.
Oh yeah.
Before we get to the dock, can we retro just a little bit farther back?
Absolutely. Back it up.
Before we get there, we should discuss how we're going to approach Toothpick. Should we just spill out, hey, we have your map, the cursed church, or should we keep it to wraps?
Is it his map? I don't.
Well, his name was on it.
Oh, was it?
That's how we
Yeah,
know about him. His name's
It
on
was
it.
written in the bottom corner of the map. Yeah.
So
I missed that part somehow.
either it's his map or the map is giving us a clue of who to contact. But either way, his name's on the map. So should we, Rick and Amelia, should we just come out clean and tell him that we're looking for...
I
we're looking
think
for a cabin at this location on the map, but should we admit the map or should we omit the map?
I don't think we should admit the map. I think we should feel him out. I think we should ask him what he knows about the area, any folklore,
Well,
see if he even talks about the place.
and then what? Because you know what these Lucos are like.
Well, there's 3 of us and 1 of him.
We need him as a guide. There's no way I'm guiding us to the swamp. And, no.
I didn't say we were going to kill him.
Swamp.
I did not say we were going to kill him.
We need this guy on our side. Rick,
Yes?
it's your brother. What do you think we should do?
I'm sorry, I was distracted by some tech stuff. What are the options here?
Share the map with share the map with Lou or not. Just try and be subterfuge or direct with the guy. Yeah.
Just be direct. Rick's a direct kind of guy.
Well, then we're going to let you take lead. It is your brother.
Okay. I'll show him the map and say, listen, do you know these places?
He looks at the map. He's like, "Oh, that's a fine copy you've got there. Last one I saw that was in the hands of Jean Baptiste and some guy named Elias." He looks at you, Rick. He's like, "You guys aren't twins, but that hair color, definitely brother, aren't you?"
Yeah. Yeah, he and I are brothers. You know him?
I ain't seen him nor Leclerc for a couple days. I took him out there to that cabin and then there was a little bit of kerfuffle, some noise out in the jungle, out in the swamp, and I tell you what, I scooted my butt out of there, and then I heard Leclerc shouting in the distance, but I was out. Those watchers were surrounding us. I don't know what was up with that.
Watchers?
I'm sorry I abandoned your brother out there.
Can you take us to the last place you saw my brother?
Yeah, nice and easy. Certainly glad you brought those chickens. We're going to need those.
Why does everyone keep saying that? What are we going to need the chickens for?
He chuckles to himself. He chuckles to himself. You'll see. You'll see.
I'll chuckle too.
Are you in the know? You know about it?
I think I know what you might have in mind.
All right. Well, you all pile up in my boat, and we'll be on our way. I mean, it's awfully late at night, and damn, I heard something about the moon being blocked out, so it's going to be kind of dark out there.
Of course it is.
Someone's saying something about a blood moon this week.
Oh, yeah, that was in the news.
I read about that. Yep.
Might see some unusual things this time. This blood moon brings out all sorts of crazy.
Already have seen some unusual things this evening.
Oh, really? As you're having this conversation as the old battered boat passes through the swamp. It's like, really? What sorts of things have you seen?
We saw a lantern.
Well, I guess it's a three-legged dog in an alley.
A lantern and a three-legged dog. We saw a tomb that opened itself when you bleed on it. That was the weirdest one.
Wow, heard rumor about something like that.
We also spoke to a woman in a cloak that wasn't quite forthcoming in the graveyard.
Oh, really? You spoke to the robed woman near the graveyard?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We sure did. And a little boy that told us we shouldn't be there in the first place.
Oh. Yeah, I heard about that boy. He sits on that bench all the time. He's been there since, well, God, before I was even born. Seeing Sister, where did I write her name down? Pardon me. Seeing Sister Evangeline. Make sure I'm saying that right. Wow. Hopefully you are experiencing good luck, because good gracious, you've seen Sister Evangeline. Something's up. Something's going down.
I knew something was up with her.
Is she like a nun?
Oh, she's a nun. Damn right. She died like 20 years back.
Is she from this, that I'll point to church that's at the end of this, swamp?
No. From what I understand, she did venture out there once. And on her way back, well, you know, things happen out in the swamp. As he says that, each of you please give me an alertness check. Yes, an alertness check. DC 14.
I rolled a 1.
Got a 15.
Okay.
I'm
completely enthralled by this.
I'm going to use my lucky to repeat that check.
Cat, knock it off.
Because I've got +2 to that, and I rolled like crap. Okay, 19.
All right. Let me see. Amelia, you're just kind of taking in the sights, the cypress trees, the hanging moss, watching what little light from the city off in the distance is catching off the ripples of the water. The moon itself has started to eclipse, but you who have rolled high enough, you spot something up ahead, something in the water as the water shifts. It looks like a long, jagged log, but it moves. Slow as a nightmare surfacing from its sleep. It pops up. You see glowing red eyes of a monstrous alligator, larger than you've ever seen. Its dark hide scarred from countless battles, its head broad as a coffin lid. One of its ancient eyes is clouded over white, but it's giving off a soft pink glow while the other glows red.
Amelia, Look at that gator. Keep your head on a swivel out here in the swamp. Look at that gator over there.
Dang.
So no swimming.
But have you ever seen this gator before? Jean? No, not Jean. What the frick?
You can just call him Toothpick. Toothpick Marcel. He chuckles to himself and he like kicks that bag of chickens towards you and he's like, that'd be Grim Jim.
Who?
Grim Jim?
Grim Jim.
Grim Jim.
He's been swimming these swamps since, wow, gosh, nobody knows how long. His name goes back decades and decades.
Creepy.
Story is that Sister Evangeline got eaten by Grim Jim.
Yeah.
And that's what the chickens are for.
Boss, I'm a little confused.
So yeah, he's kicked that burlap sack.
Boss, I'm a little confused. If this Sister Evangeline got eaten 20 years ago, how come she talked to us today?
Well, I'm not a true believer in any of all this stuff, but it is a little weird, and I have heard.
All right.
I just
who would like to throw some chickens? Sorry.
I just try my best not to be in anybody's business.
Well, they're doing that. I'll throw chickens.
Sadly.
All right. Repeat what you said, Rick. We'll get to the chickens in a moment.
Oh, I just said I try my best not to get my nose in anybody's business, but no big deal.
Okay. All right. Toothpick has kicked that bag of chickens kind of open, and a couple of them tumble out in the bottom of the boat.
I'll grab a chicken and throw it to the gator.
All right. Give me basically it's a ranged attack. So yeah, roll me a ranged attack.
Okay. Which would be
it's just your attack bonus. Just your attack bonus. You're trying to chuck the chicken.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
As close to the croc as possible. Not a crocodile.
So I'm just adding my attack bonus to what I rolled. Okay. 10.
All right. You don't quite place it in a good spot, but you see Grim Jim, he just sort of bloop, disappears beneath the water. But you see his massive tail sweeping across the water. The ripples lap against the boat. And then his rigid back does disappear, completely submerges beneath. And then, boom, with a sudden violent surge, he shoots up out of the water like a rocket. His mouth open wide as he takes in, imagine like in the Jurassic Park movie where they're like feeding like this alligator is, he is just absolutely huge. His rigid back disappears and boom, blah, blah, blah. Sudden violent surge, water explodes as Grim Jim lunges, jaws gaping wide, and the chicken is gone in a single bone-crushing snap. And then the swamp settles, the water smooths, and Toothpick Marcel is like, toss a couple more just to be sure.
You got it. I will toss a couple more.
Okay.
Hey, Toothpick. Don't you think that maybe we're just training the gator to follow boats?
Well, you're right. Hadn't really thought of it that way, but getting those chickens out to him, that's good. That's real good. As far as I know, and from what the stories say, the toll has been paid. Now let's keep it that way. Let's keep moving before he changes his mind.
Yeah, I'd rather him be snapping on a chicken than our boat.
Yeah,
us.
I can see the argument either way, to be honest.
You do make a good point.
Yeah, now we've taught him that there's chickens in this boat. See.
I'm sure this isn't the first time, and
yeah, apparently
Toothpick's still around.
Everyone around here seems to know already. So.
Toothpick's still around, and I'm telling you, do not like the swamp.
Yeah, as the boat cuts, so they kind of blended together. As the boat cuts through the still black water, leaving only ripples that vanish too quickly, thick mist clings to the cypress trees, slithering beneath the branches like pale fingers. As you move along, Toothpick, and we'll lead into break with this, Toothpick Malone kind of like finishes the thoughts that you're all having, and he's just like, yeah, good old Grim Jim. He's the spirit of the swamp, protects it from those that would do it harm.
Is that us? Are we gonna harm the swamp?
I don't plan on doing any harm to the swamp.
Plan on not doing anything to the swamp.
I don't plan on harming the swamp. I'm also not sure how it would if I wanted to.
Right.
Cut down all the trees. I don't know.
Well, if you're gonna do harm, tell me now, and I'll drop you off on the nearest dry piece.
No, I think we talked about it and decided we're not gonna do harm to the swamp.
All right.
We just have someone to save, and that's it. We don't have...
Correct. Just here to get Rick's brother.
Okay. So, again, you pass through the swamp a little further, the bayou, and we'll, again, go to break real quick. All As right. You approach the crooked and sagging, the shack materializes in the mist. It sits on a small patch of damp, sinking earth. Its stilts barely keeping it above the creeping swamp. A narrow dock jots from the island edge. Its boards warped and half swollen by moss. And we'll break, if that's cool with you guys.
All right,
Yep.
Let's do it.
Yes.
We'll be back in 10 minutes, everyone.
Ready?
Okay.
Welcome back. We're all here in the swamp.
Yeah.
Guess it.
Yay,
it's
swamp.
Part of some of us.
And on that, let me just back up. And we'll just kind of that last little bit. The boat moves towards the narrow dock that juts out from the island. Each of you, please roll me a DC 11 alertness check.
And that will be 14.
Okay.
16.
Okay. Amelia and Miriam. As you're getting closer and closer to the dock, you hit this very strong feeling that you are being watched. Something is watching you. And as you... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, which isn't quite unusual in the swamp, because, like, everything wants to eat and kill you, so...
Yeah. It's gone from, we've got things watching us to, like, something's watching us?
Yes.
Yeah, like you get that shiver.
I'll say, Rick, you got that feeling? There's something watching us.
I can't really feel eyeballs, boss.
All right.
I don't think Rick intends to be a skeptic.
No,
He's just a little
feel it.
slow.
So like the goose flesh on the back of my
neck. I was like, I seem to remember him having, he's got a 10 intelligence and a 9 wisdom. So, he's not
dumb as a stump.
Anyway.
He just, he needs to stay in his lane.
That's right. That's right. As you are approaching, your eyes track up along the dock to the crooked shack. There's an unlit lantern that dangles from the porch, creaking with each slow gust of wind. Your eyes track up a little further, and clinging to the trees and crouched atop the roof is a thin, elongated shadow with hollow eyes that glint back like wet stones.
And I've got my shotgun right close, ready to go. It's ever since we stepped on that boat, I've got it ready. I just don't like the swamp. I don't know if I said that about 108 times, but
you'd like to roll a lore check on what this is sitting on top of the shack? Yeah, you mentioned it.
I was gonna say, could you describe the that shadow again?
It is an elongated shadow. It's humanoid shape with hollow eyes that glint back at you like wet stones.
Yeah, I'll do a lore check.
Rolled an 8.
Oh, I rolled a 1.
Okay. Does not, you don't recognize it or know what it is. Your questioning gaze falling upon it, Toothpick Marcel says, "Watchers. No two of them are the same. Some hunched, some stretched unnaturally tall, others perched with their heads cocked at angles too sharp for bone. They don't normally move, they don't blink, they only watch."
Well, you've mentioned these watchers before, Toothpick. Can you tell us anything more about them? Do you know what they are?
No idea. Just spirits of the swamp, or swamp gas getting to you. Too many people have seen them for it to be swamp gas, I think. I mean, you see it, right? Because I see it plain as day up there.
I see the shadow.
I see it.
Just don't know what it is.
Yeah, all I see
I don't
is
like
a
how
shadow.
it makes me feel either.
Is that what we're talking about? Just a shadow?
Yeah, that right there. And he points up towards it as the boat drifts closer.
Well, I wouldn't say I can see it super clearly, but I do see the shadow. I don't know what's making the shadow.
Yeah, as you are looking at it, Rick, it slowly rises up a little bit in its position and raises one gnarled finger and points it directly at the boat with the three of you in it. The lantern rattles on the post, the wind stops, and the watcher is gone. Like so many other things, it just sort of vanishes without a trace. Huh. And there's an unnatural silence that falls upon the swamp. For a moment, the crickets and locusts all stop making sound.
Well, guys, I don't really feel very good about that.
I got a really bad feeling. If this wasn't your kin, Rick, I might head back with Toothpick.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Toothpick, are you gonna wait for us here?
Yeah, as the hull bumps softly against the dock, Toothpick Marcel grips the post to steady the boat. He says, "I ain't got no business of mine up in there." His eyes flick towards the empty tree line where the watcher had been. "I'll keep the motor warm."
All right, you just stay here, okay? Do you have any way of alerting us if there's anything that goes wrong?
Well, I'll just shout if there's something to holler about.
All right, you do that.
That's a good plan. I'll hop out of the boat onto the dock.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out and have my machete drawn and in my hand.
I also have my machete out.
Yeah, like I said, I've got my shotgun ready.
The dock creaks under your weight.
Oh, sorry. Just for extra intimidation, I'll have a crowbar in my other hand.
The dock creaks under your weight as you approach the tilted hovel. As you step inside, the air is thick with the smell with a pretty big delay.
A really long delay of yes.
We'll just have to be patient for his response, I think.
Yeah, and likewise back.
Okay. So Steve, let's going to repeat what we said briefly while we were off the call. We have Miriam and Amelia coming on to the corners of the shack. You in the middle, basically setting up, you distract them, creating a kill box because they're all standing on the dock and they can get a crossfire on them and then sweep wide with their weapons to get the guys in the boat. Pretty much all within like a moment or two. Basically, maybe a round or two.
Copy. Let's do it.
But that all kicks off with Rick stepping outside and saying what he's going to say.
Hey guys, why you got my friend?
You were that guy in the speakeasy with Leclerc. Where's he at? Is he in the cabin? Bring him out here. So he's dead.
Last I saw him.
Well, drop that crowbar. Get over here.
I drop it.
Anyone else in there then?
In there? Not that I saw.
And I believe that's probably your cue.
Yes. So I will fire at one of the four on the dock.
And as soon as I hear her gun go off, I'm going to spray the perimeter, the guys on the out first, and then work my way towards the dock.
All right. So what was your attack roll?
So, am I just adding the dex? Or
You have
just the
your
attack?
just your attack roll.
Yeah. Okay, it's the same. Okay, then 9.
Okay, actually, my apologies. If you add your dex and your attack roll together when you're making
Okay, that's what I was
a
wondering.
ranged attack. So dex, and then if you're doing a melee, it's strength and attack added to your die roll. All three add together. So
okay, so no worries. Be 11 then.
Right. And you were shooting on them with what type?
Yeah, the 45, which is a 1d8.
It's a 1d8. Yes, that is the big gun, the big handgun.
Indeed. That's just so we can get a good roll. A 2.
A 2. And you're shooting one of the guys on the dock.
Yeah.
And these guys are in the boat. All right, so you catch a guy in the shoulder, taking 2 of his hit points. He spins around and staggers, but he stands up like, oh, yeah. And they all, like, each of them had a fire, but now Marion.
Okay, so what am I adding? I rolled 15 on the die.
Okay, and then you add since you're using a ranged weapon, your dex skill stat.
I don't see that.
It says DES on this character sheet, so you've got a 0, but you do have a +2 attack, so that's 17. All right.
Yeah.
Roll 2 more times, so that's definitely 1 hit.
The second one, I rolled a 1.
All right. No worries.
And the last one is a 13.
13. Okay, so
13 plus 2, so 15.
15. Okay. So your first shot hits, and your second and your third shot hits, but that one that goes astray actually punches a hole in Toothpick's boat. But your machine gun is going to do. Where's the damage for this machine gun? It's pretty big. I'm going to call for 2d6 damage for each shot that hit?
Yeah, that second shot, I was surprised at the kick. So the first one was good, but then I was like, oh man, and then I got control of it again. So the first one, 2d6.
2d6, yeah.
First one is 5.
Okay.
The third one is 7.
All right. So your first shot, again, that first shot basically hits this guy square in the chest. Big air sucking wound, and it impacts him so hard it flings him back and off the dock into the water. The second shot pierces a guy, knocks him flat over. He just sort of like disappears in a burst of red, and that bullet passes through him and hits the guy behind him, doing a little bit of damage to him.
Nice.
All right, Rick, there is a wounded guy clutching his shoulder where he got shot by Amelia, and there's a guy who just got hit by this Browning machine gun, also still standing on. They're both on the dock, and the 4 guys in the boats are reaching for the rifles.
How many boats? Is it 2 boats?
There are 4 boats that had 2 people each, so 8 bad guys.
Okay.
And Toothpick's boat, which now has a hole in it and taking water.
I'm gonna rush the guys on the docks. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm going to charge the closest boat. I'd like to aim myself so that I don't run directly into Marion's line of fire.
Okay. Yeah, because she shot at the dock, and the plan is for her to spread the shots off towards the boats. So yeah, you've got that moment. Either Miriam or Amelia can adjust their aim to avoid hitting you next round.
All right, I'm coming in with a machete on the first guy I can get to. That's a 13.
13 on the dice.
Yeah, and I have 0 attack, so it's 13.
And 0 strength bonus, so a flat 13. Yes, you make contact with that machete.
6 damage.
Which is a D8 damage. Oh, Jiminy. You come at this guy and swing hard. You deliver a death blow, so are you like chonking into his head or neck or...
I imagine where he's holding his weapon. And, the blood loss does him in.
Okay. All right. And then quickly roll me a dexterity check as well.
6.
Okay. As you make contact and it kills him, because you had to jump sort of in the boat to get there, the boat kind of like lurches from under you, and you just sort of fall flat on your back in the boat as it's now drifting a little ways away from the dock.
Okay. That's my turn.
And that guy cannot reach for his rifle. One of the guys on the dock turns to fire at, let me see, 1, 2, 3. We'll call you 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. All right. Kind of sees Amelia around the corner, tries to shoot at you. You've got partial cover, so your defense is going to be bumped up by 2. Amelia, you have a defense of 12. Okay, so 14. This guy gets a shot off with his revolver, and it does hit. It is just a standard pistol, a revolver, which is only a D4 plus 1. It's not a 22, so that's 4 points of damage as that bullet tears through like a shoulder or hits you in the leg, whichever is appropriate. The other guy that also took a shot chooses to shoot at Marion. Also got a +2 on your defense. I think that's also hitting. This black dice could be the death of you guys. Yep, that is a hit. But again, it's also just this tiny little rifle or pistol. Dang it. So 4 points. I should put the black dice away anyway. But in that process, the other 3 remaining living guys have grabbed their guns and are like bringing them up to shoot coming up next round. And we are at the next round. The one guy who fell into the water, dead, you see like an alligator, whoosh mouth, grab him and go under. And you swear to God that was Grim Jim.
No doubt.
They did not pay respects with chickens. I learned about this from my good friend.
Right, so again,
respect with the 5.
Yeah, do you hear Toothpick like, hurry up, I'm bleeding in here.
I'll jump to the boat he's in.
All right, so as this boat is like scooching away, give me a quick dexterity, or is it move?
Doesn't matter, it's a 1.
That's movement in yards. Okay. You kind of like quickly get up, but you go to leap over the edge and try and jump to his boat. But you only get like part of the way there, and you grab a side of his boat and your body is now in the water.
Remember, I gave you chickens.
Amelia. Amelia or Marion.
Yeah. I'll take another shot at someone on the. I'm gonna shoot at one of the enemies in the boat.
Yeah, they have rifles, which will do more damage than the revolvers that are pointed at you. So,
crap. That's 6.
That shot does go wide. Or the guy sees you point the gun at him, and he like ducks down. The shot misses.
And I get a little further back behind coverage.
Okay. You still have a +2 to your defense roll. Marion, there are three guys in boats and 2 guys left on the dock.
I'm shooting at the boats.
Okay, so bring it across. The boat that Rick was in is like now, because he pushed off of it, is now like shooting off across the swamp with nobody in it except a dead body. So yeah, go ahead. 3 shots. So you're gonna try and hit all 3 guys, or
I'm just gonna spray because
sweeping. Okay.
So the first one, 9, 11 for the first.
That's hit. Yeah.
17 for the second one.
That is a hit.
And 5 for the last one.
All right, so that last one misses. The first 2 guys take the hits, and that third guy just like ducks deep into his boat.
So the first one's 10 damage. 7 damage for the second one.
Okay. And that last guy who dived into his boat, because it's just a machine gun, it's like but only actually hitting 3 out of how many shots are shot. 2 guys are dead in their boats. 1 guy is alive but ducked down for cover, and 2 guys left on the dock. The 2 guys left on the dock see where this is going and immediately dive into the closest boat. And 1 guy's like trying to get the motor started, and it does get started. The guy in the other boat that ducked down sits up, just his boat is still running. He zips the turn to get away. The two guys in the dock, again, have dived into a boat and are trying to get away. Rick, you are in the water. Miriam and Amelia. So this is your opportunity to finish them off or let them get away.
I'd like to get out of the water and help Toothpick.
All right. As you are trying to pull yourself up over the edge of the boat, it's kind of like rocking in there. You feel a large something like come under your feet and lift and push you up and over the edge.
Thanks, Jim.
Helping you into the boat.
All right. How bad does
all right.
guy look?
And you are. He's got a nice wound in him. It's going to take a bit of first aid to just patch him up, and it's you might be able to keep him alive. It's a gut shot, and he's in a lot of pain, but he could live for a couple days in the state he's in. But he'll bleed out unless you get him to a doctor that can patch him up completely.
Okay, I did spend some starting money on a first aid kit. So
as I peek around the corner. Oh, cool.
All right, so patch him up with a quick survival check with that as well. Get a roll on that.
17.
Oh yeah, that's really good. Really good, Rick. You patch him up well enough to keep the blood from oozing out even more. You'll just have to change that bandage out every now and then to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Amelia and Marion, your actions real quick.
I'm just going to fire off a couple of shots over their heads to just keep them moving.
Okay.
And I'm going to shoot at them.
All right. Basically, there's one boat with one guy zipping off in one direction and another boat with two guys in it trying to zip off in the opposite direction. So you can hit one or the other boat. Yeah.
Okay, so eeny, meeny, miny, mo. The one with the two guys in it.
Okay.
$19.
Okay. That's a good hit.
7.
That's not good.
17.
17. I'd have you roll the damage, but I'm pretty sure that your two shots will finish them off. Your stray bullet, though, you see. Let me just roll call me a high or low. I'm going to roll a percentile dice, and high or low will be, if you call it right, it's good. If you call it wrong, it's bad.
Low.
That is an 86. Okay. That's bad. As you're firing the shot, you see Grim Jim's body come up out of the water like he's going to go after that boat, and that stray bullet hits him in the back. And
Jesus.
You see basically the bullet spark off of his thick, dark hide, but there's you do see a thin spray of blood come off of the wound.
So I shot the crocodile.
Watch out!
By accident.
Sorry.
All right, so
actually, I'm not sorry. Man, I'm not sorry. I didn't know he pushed you out of the water. I'm not sorry. I might have saved us from that big old crocodile too.
in the immediate aftermath, there are a couple of guns lying around on the dock. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll grab another handgun.
Yeah, there's a rifle, one of the rifles that does 2d6. Wait, 1d6. 2d6. One of the rifles do 2d6. You have access to and just a couple of revolvers that do 1d4 plus 1.
I wouldn't mind grabbing one of the revolvers and sticking it in my waistband.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll grab a second revolver and the rifle.
Okay. And with that, the last of Duvall's men, the one of them gets away. And he's zipping off in there, and Toothpick's like, hate to rush the moment like this, but Duvall's going to send more boys if we don't move.
All right.
And he pauses for a second, breathing deep, and he's like, thanks, Rick.
Sorry to get you into this, Toothpick. Let's get him out of here.
Oh, I'm worse in the war. You can get me to a doctor in another day. I'll be all right.
I don't think that's a good idea. Did we grab everything from the cabin? The book, the machete, the trunk?
Yeah, you got what was in there. Yeah, the trunk.
Yeah,
if you want to bring it, it's big and heavy. It'd take up a lot of space in the boat.
Grab anything we didn't grab.
Well, I just thought we might need it for the big ton.
Okay.
And another boat. Let's take one of the non-holy boats.
Yeah, there's one boat just kind of lying there with another one. So you climb in that boat, and Toothpick's like, I want to see this to the end now. These bastards. Let's go. Take me to the X on the map.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a shot of super morphine, and you'll be fine.
And at least you'll get a new boat out of it.
Good. Don't know how much walking I'll be doing.
Let's head out.
As we proceed forward from there. Yep. As you follow the Toothpick's like giving you guidance based on what he has on the map. He gets you to this place, and you put in on a muddy bank. There's a couple of other boats sitting there, again, trying to move things along so we can wrap up soon. Don't want to keep you guys too late. As you push through the undergrowth, you come to a point where you kind of crest a hill, and you can look over, and you see a half-drowned ruin. Its roof long caved in, but its stained glass windows are partially still intact. Lanterns flicker along the water's edge, casting twisted shadows across the skeletal remains of this once grand place of worship. The moon overhead is almost fully eclipsed. Duvall, you don't know it's Duvall, but he's pretty obvious. He's got a nice suit on, and think what Belloc looked like, and is white, and he's got a hat on his head. He stands near the flooded steps, adjusting the cuffs on his shirt. He's got on a pair of red lensed glasses. Before him, a woman. You recognize her because you've seen her around town. You recognize that it is Madame Dubrow. She is bent down in the mud, carving circles in the mud, her fingers tracing symbols. And Elias is there, bound, bleeding, and kneeling within the circle. And the air feels wrong. The earth trembles beneath your feet.
Boss, can you shoot everyone who's not in the circle?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a couple hints in there.
Just don't hit Elias.
I can try.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee anything.
Sorry, I do it myself, but I don't know how these things work.
Maybe you just have an aversion to... Or does it really say you do not know how to use a weapon?
In my character class, in the sidekick character class, it says you do not know how to use firearms.
Which seems more like something like Short Round or one of those guys would be that kind of sidekick. But
yeah,
having like war trauma against using guns, maybe you shot too many people in the past and you just have an aversion.
Yeah.
But while you have that quick conversation, from out of the darkness, you hear this kind of like low rumbling voice. The price is still owed. And with that, Madame Dubrow stands up from the mud. She raises a blade high above her head as it catches in the lantern light, and she steps forward and starts to bring it down to plunge it into Elias's heart or body.
Is she too far away to throw a machete at her?
All right, let me. I'm gonna shoot her.
A bit. You could definitely try, but yeah.
Okay, so the first one, I got 12.
Oh my God. Okay. Let me see.
20 on the second one.
All right.
And 9 on the last.
Okay, and 9. So here's the question. As you fire these bullets, there are a few henchmen around. And kind of like in a line, you've got like henchmen, Duval, Madame Dubrow, sibling lying in the mud. Pretty much easy not to hit because of that, and some more henchmen. Are you sweeping from left to right or right to left on your shooting?
I'm sweeping from the guy in white.
Okay.
Through the crazy witch lady.
Okay.
Out.
Sounds good. Your first bullet, like whing, as the sound rings out from the gun. Of course, the bullet arrives well before that. You see Duval's hat get hit, and he immediately clenches down, but his hat flies off as your first bullet shoots the hat off his head. Your second bullet makes solid contact with Madame Dubrow, dealing damage, and that third bullet just kind of rings off the ruins of the church. So roll your damage on Miss Dubrow. That's brutal.
9.
9. All right, that bullet catches her solidly, and she spins around. Her dagger goes flying off into the darkness. She staggers and falls into the mud, but she's kind of pushing herself up. She kind of catches herself, one hand clutching to this gaping wound in her side. And it is now on. Rick and Amelia, your reaction after the firing of the big gun.
So Duvro is still up, I take it?
Yeah, the bullet went over his head and then just knocked his hat off.
I gotcha. Okay. I'd like to take the rifle and aim at him then.
Okay. Yep. He ducks down. He like, you see him kind of twitch just a little bit after the shot, and it looks like he's gonna dive for cover, but you get a good shot off before he can dive for cover.
18.
Oh, yep, that's a solid hit.
And I need to get another D6 here.
Yeah, to effectively say you've gone into the boss battle, so
Yeah.
they're gonna have more hit points in their mooks. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Peace.
4.
All right, 4. Okay. Yep. You get him. You hit him. You see, like the gunshot hits his white suit. Even his shoes are almost still polished, even though he's walking through the mud. It's like he supernaturally cannot get dirty. But this blood wound opens in his arm where you hit him, and his white suit is now tarnished.
Good.
You hear him shout, "Damn it, my suit!"
Have we hit?
Rick, did you take the special machete?
Not the special one. No, I have my own.
Okay. And your question, Rick? Have we hit?
We were coming up in a boat. Have we hit the shore yet?
Yeah, you guys had like come up to the muddy bank with other boats and got up on foot and walked probably a little ways to get to this little crested hill.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
On this, it's a pretty patchy, muddy, gunky area, but yeah, it's still land. You could run or walk or.
Okay, I'm gonna run into melee range with the machete. And specifically to the woman trying to kill my brother. Prioritize.
Right. Yep, she's spun around. She's now like knee deep in the mud. And yeah, you could definitely get to her because she's not too far.
15 to hit. And 8 damage.
15 to hit.
Yeah, assuming that it hits.
Yep. Okay. It does. And you do 8?
Yeah.
8 total damage?
Yep. 8 on the D8.
Right. She was trying to get up, but you come up on her and you have now taken her to what we might call bloody in another system with her hit point level. So how badly do you wound her with this? I mean, she's not dead, but she's definitely hurting.
Well, she obviously survived it, but I think I was aiming for a decapitation strike. So, maybe she ducked it and caught it to the head.
Okay. Yeah, she is stunned and unable to move. This machete has just concussed her. Okay. All right. Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm doing my math all wrong here. My apologies. That blow does kill her. I'm sorry about that. Sorry. She's gone because that first bullet did her number, and then you finished her off. Sorry about that, Steve. Rick.
Awesome. I mean, I've just murdered a human woman, but awesome. So that head probably rolls down to.
Okay.
That head probably rolls down to Grim Jim.
Yeah. Let me read this real quick. Her body stiffens, her eyes are wide as her head tumbles. Blood blooms from the wound where her head once was. The lanterns around the circle flame up. They like flame up really high. And then there is a sound, a deep groaning. A wail rises from deep beneath the church. The swamp shudders, and the weight of century-old magic withers. The church itself starts to collapse in, divulge. He screams in furious rage, and is standing there. Yes, and the henchmen move in to take care of the business with you all. So. The Vol shouts, "Take him alive." One comes at you, Rick. He's going to try and just tackle you.
Okay.
You have a defense of 10.
Yeah. I critted the defense, so 30.
Okay. Defense is kind of like just your armor class.
Yeah.
In this system versus rolling for defense.
Sorry, I was thinking of one of 8 other systems I recently played.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. It's so this guy comes at you and he gets his arms around you and tackles you down into the mud. Amelia and Miriam, you're kind of up on this hilltop. I assume you're just kind of barely over the top, so you have cover. But these two guys come running. Yeah.
And I'm kind of kneeling on one knee to gain A little bit more coverage and stability.
Yeah. So these, one of the 4 has grabbed Rick. The other 3, one runs forward to grab and hold Elias to the ground, and the other 2 come charging up the hill towards Amelia and Miriam. 11. That is a... he dives to try and grab you, Amelia, but you've got a higher defense and you kind of dodge his attack. Marion, this guy comes up on you and he tries to wrestle the gun out of your hands. He kind of steps to the side and he's kind of wrestling with that gun. So to do an opposed strength check for me, Marion. So strength stat plus your roll.
Yeah, I would.
Beat a 6.
Okay. I don't know what I did with my dice. There it is.
And Rick, you would also do an opposed strength check as you're wrestling in the mud. Versus
and it's just my dice?
Yeah, your D20 plus your strength score, which is a
0. Yeah.
0.
So.
Okay, so just a straight die roll.
Okay, so I got a 7.
All right. It's a struggle against his 6, but you are able to wrench and get the gun loose from the guy's grip. Rick, you are wrestling in the mud against a... What's that?
I rolled a 10.
All right. Also a bit of a struggle. This guy rolled an 8, but you're able to break free from his grasp.
Awesome.
And Amelia, you dodged this guy who tried to dive on top of you.
Okay.
You see Duvall as you're kind of like pulling yourself up out of the mud, Rick. You see Duvall like lunge forward. He draws his own machete and he moves towards your brother, who's lying in the mud being held down by one of the mooks.
Is it back to me?
Yeah, it's back to your guys' turn. Yeah, so whomever wishes to act first.
Well, I'm definitely going for Duvall if he's trying to kill Elias.
Okay.
That's no good. That's a 2.
It's a 2. As you kind of come at him, he kind of reaches out with one hand and stiff arms you a little bit. And he whispers a few words to you. And please roll me basically a wisdom save. I know you've got terrible wisdom.
16.
It's a... Oh, okay, that's fine. For a moment, as he places his hand on, kind of catches you and he whispers these words, your body gets kind of rigid and stiff for a second, but then you're not. Yeah. Yeah. Like he almost got paralysis on you. Amelia and Miriam?
I will... So... This guy missed me. Is he standing near me then, or laying on the ground?
Yeah. He tried to like run up and dive on you, and you moved, so he kind of went and landed like in the mud beside you, and he's like scrambling to get up, but he's right there.
Okay. I will. I will get up and shoot at him with my rifle.
Yeah, I'll give you advantage since he's like right there and in the mud.
Okay. Hmm. 12.
That hits the guy.
I rolled 2 8s, so
yeah, they've got very low defense. Yeah. He's holding.
5.
You put a bullet in this guy. He goes rigid and is incapacitated. He's not dead, but he's going to bleed out. You see, he's bleeding profusely.
Okay.
He probably will die before the end of the round. Yeah.
Okay.
Marion.
Yeah.
You have wrestled this weapon free from the guy, and he's like right there in front of the barrel.
Then I pull the trigger.
Well, this poor guy.
I assume I have advantage since.
Yeah, because he's literally right in front of you. I would just say you saw the guy in half,
Or just give me the first hit, I guess. Yeah, I got a 20.
Okay, so your first bullet basically blows him in half. Leaves one, like the comical hole in his belly that you could lean down and peer through, but because it hit him so hard, he flies backwards and splotches in the mud. And the gun is kicking, so you could still aim your next two shots.
Okay, so I would assume at the same time I still have my eye on the guy in white. At least trying to, as quickly as I can, get my eye on the guy in white. But now I think about it. Rick! Move!
I will move.
He definitely would not hear over the rack of the gun firing.
He knows I have this big ass gun and I'm gonna shoot.
I'm gonna move. I'm definitely gonna fucking move.
He's kind of half hidden behind. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So the second shot was only a 10.
Okay.
So, but then the third one, 9. So I missed both of those probably.
All right. So as you shoot that first guy and you try to pull it to aim towards, but you're being cautious about Rick. Your bullets just splash, 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 hit all around him. Duvall, whose hand is on Rick for a moment, he flinches again as the bullets kind of flail around him, and his action was taking up and defending himself against Rick. So we're back to there. Which really doesn't leave a whole lot of people left. There's one guy left holding Elias down. Okay. And only 2 left here. I'm going to call again, Rick. Give me a high or low call on this percentage dice.
Hi.
You guys, that's a 34. Okay.
Did my best.
With that, sorry, go ahead.
He did his best.
Okay. Duvall's guy is got a hold of your brother, and seeing all the commotion, he kind of pushes your brother to the side and gets up to run out of here. Duvall yells at him "Where are you going, you coward?" All this attention on you, Rick. And he, what is this? He tries to hit you with that machete in his hands.
Okay.
What the stat is? 12. 12 is enough to hit. It is. Okay. That is a D8. So 4 points of damage off that D8 from the machete.
How much? 4?
4 points. Okay. And Amelia, give me a high or low on this percentile dice. 46. Okay. All right. It is your round again. Rick, Amelia, Marion, what do you do?
I swing at this guy and miss.
Who's
Yeah, he's a badass, you know, a bit of a badass.
It's Duvall's there, and you said one guy's running off?
One guy is running away, yep, and that's all that's left is Duvall, and trying to exchange blows in melee combat. Yeah.
I am going to come down there with my machete up behind Duvall and swing at him from behind.
Okay.
$11, because I just add strength, right? Oh, and my attack.
Your attack. Both,
13.
Yeah.
13.
All right. Let me double check it. That is one short, but I was turn 2 and he's occupied with Rick. So
okay.
Re-roll and just do better.
Yeah, that'll be a 21 then.
Okay, so yeah, your machete sinks into his flesh. How much? That's a D8 for damage.
Oh, where is my D8?
And it's your machete, not the fancy one that Marion had picked up at one point.
It's my machete.
You still have that. Okay.
6.
That's a good blow. You cut him pretty solidly down and across his back, like his suit jacket kind of peels away. You see the pink fleshy bits of his back, but now there's this big gaping wound that you have cut across him.
Good.
Marion? Ow, cat, quit stabbing me in the back, buddy.
Well, I'm not going to shoot with this big old machine gun with both my people and in there. Is everybody, like, tell me what it looks like from my perspective right now, wherever is.
Yeah. From your perspective, it looks like you've got Amelia standing, like, closest to you, but a little off to the right. And then just in front of her and a little to the left is Duvall, and a little in front of him and to the left is Rick. They're basically, standing there in a kind of a cockeyed line.
But I have a clear shot.
If
nothing goes wrong and I don't fuck it up, I've got a clear shot.
With that machine gun?
Not with the machine gun. I have the revolver in my hand.
Okay.
Or in my butt.
So you kind of throw the machine gun aside and draw the gun. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you can get a good shot off. Yeah, it's risky because they're all right there, but yeah.
Right. 17, 18, 19.
That is a solid hit. And are you hitting him with have you got a 45 or just a standard revolver?
I don't know. It's one you let me pick up.
Let's say a D4 plus 1.
I don't have a D4 here. Give it to me. Three.
Okay. That bullet catches him in the shoulder, almost just kind of like a grazing blow. He reacts to both the cut in his back, kind of arches back, his shoulder twists out of the way. Rick's right in front of him. He's going to like stiff arm you away again, Rick, just to kind of push you, but he's going to spin around with his machete and try and get Amelia, since she did so much damage to his back. That is a 15 on the attack. What is your defense?
It's 12, so that hits.
So he makes contact with his brutal machete. as he spins and he's like, I feed you, Black Talon, and he swipes at you, delivering 5 points of damage, but you're going to bleed out 1 point per round until you are medically first aided.
Understood.
Okay. And after he spins and cuts at you, he sort of like vanishes from in front of your eyes and reappears 10 feet away.
Oh, I was going to disengage from him anyway.
Yeah, he shadow stepped away, so to speak.
In which direction?
Towards Elias, who's still lying in the mud. And as he reappears, he's now got both hands on that machete, gonna do the whole diving it down into his victim's body. But it is now your turn again.
I rolled an 11 to hit him.
Back to you guys. Yeah, it comes back to you guys. Rick, Rick, give you an opportunity. High or low on that percentage again.
High.
Keep switching back and forth per round for you guys. High. There it is. It's a 64 on the dice. All right, but what do you do, Rick? What's your action?
I tried to hit him. I rolled an 11.
Okay. You try and just trying to like shoulder bash him so he can't get to your brother. Basically, hit him.
No, machete with the machete.
You do miss. He's sort of. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, as you scramble to get your footing, kind of slippery under your feet in the mud. You come forward. He kind of like shifts off to the side, and with that, Rick, out of the corner of your eye, you catch something moving, something large moving through the underbrush. Amelia and Miriam, your actions.
I'm gonna pull out my 45 and shoot him. Take a shot at him.
I see Amelia like whip it out, do it like Western style.
Yeah, that was cockeyed. I need to move that pencil. Okay. 14.
Yep, that just gets him.
Okay. Which one is this? E8.
He's bleeding profusely and is struggling to hold that machete over his head. He's shaking. And how many damage?
2.
2? Okay. He kind of just takes the shot. Oh. And you hear him say, "If only I could finish the ritual," as he starts to bring that machete down.
Okay, so where is he now? He's over the brother.
Yep. But he's a few feet away from you. From you?
Yeah.
He's probably like, since you didn't run up on things, he's about 30 feet away. Yeah.
Well, I'm not running no 30 feet in an instant. So, but he's standing over his brother with his machete, gonna chop him in half. So I'll go to shoot him again with the handgun. And I got an after 20.
Oof. Alrighty. So yeah, that's a critical hit on this guy.
Which means he gets. Well, what's a critical in this game? Is it the max?
It's just gonna be. We're just gonna double your damage.
Well, that sucked because I only got a 2. So I got 4 damage.
Plus the 1.
Yeah, it was. I rolled.
Oh. Oh dang.
Yeah.
Let me rethink that. Typically for critical hits, I take max damage and then add your roll. That's usually my house rule. So I'm going to stick with that. So 5 plus your 1. Okay. That shot catches him solidly, kind of like he staggers a bit. His knee goes out from under him, and he kind of clutches and he catches himself in the mud. One hand holding his machete, the other catching in the mud. He is down, and with that, Rick, you got the successful 100 on the die call. You hear basically this loud rustle and crunch and smash as Grim Jim emerges from the underbrush, and he just busts through the remaining part of the church, destroying as much of it as he possibly. He gets in the middle, he spins around, his tail knocks over a wall. Everything is kind of coming down and collapsing, and Rick, as a piece of the wall crashes down, it rips open, and lying at your feet is a ruby and jeweled silver, like Confederate officer's sword.
Yoink.
Yoink.
And then I will turn to Elias and, cut his bonds, give him some first aid, and, give my companions.
I also have a first aid kit, so if...
Duvall is in the mud trying to crawl away. Yeah.
Okay, let him.
Isn't Grim hungry?
Nah, if you leave him be, Grim will get him. But I don't know if you wanted to finish him off or let Grim Jim swallow him whole.
I don't feel like murdering a man when we're not in a fight, but I also don't feel like saving this guy, so we should just leave.
All right. Also, as you gather up your brother, I'll have you do a quick survival check to get that first aid on him. He's not too beat up. He's bruised and battered. Like one of his eyes is swollen. He's got some small cuts on him.
Just 8.
But he could use some attention. Okay. Not real good. You get him kind of on his feet. He's excited to see you. And he's shaking really badly, and kind of prevents you from getting a good first aid kit on him. Grim Jim pauses for a second, and his head turns and looks at you guys, and then turns and looks at Duvall crawling in the mud, as if he's waiting for permission. And I assume you guys kind of give him the head.
With my hand. I'm like, it's all yours.
All right. Instead of just biting him, Grim Jim runs over him, rolls him over in the mud. You hear the exhausted breath come out of Duvall, and he expires. And with that, Grim Jim turns around, kind of bites into him, and the alligator could swallow it, literally bite him in half, swallow him whole. He's just that big. He kind of picks up Duvall and mushes off into the undergrowth with the body caught in his mouth.
Nice.
And as you kind of look around, you see a metal lockbox squished into the mud in the debris of the church.
Let's pick that up.
Okay. Yeah. No.
As we are winding down here, do you have any final words? And then I can tell you what you find. Basically, that sword that you find, very valuable. It's like the one real treasure you come out of this with.
Awesome. I'll split that with these two.
So any epilogues that you kind of like what we did earlier with Frank? Do you
I
have
think
a
I'll
final word as to what you do?
Just take Elias home and give him a stern talking to about watching what he gets himself into. Maybe ask him if he wants to work for Marion with me. I don't know if she's hiring any more help, but she's definitely a good boss. She went and fought guys in the swamp with me. So, yeah, basically, like, you could make better life choices, Elias.
He agrees and realizes that his life choices that led him away from home, he didn't even know that your parents had died from the flu of 1918. So he's a little bit devastated, and he would like to stay close to you at this point, Rick. Yeah.
All right. So Predator handshake.
And before Miriam or Amelia say what you're going to say, the cursed gold is lost, but inside this iron lockbox, you find a ledger detailing secret Confederate smuggling routes. And you find one small, unassuming gold coin that feels warm when you hold it in your hand.
Interesting. Probably. Okay.
So any post thoughts on that, Amelia or Marion?
I'm not sure about the coin. But Amelia's decided she also needs a assistant.
Nice.
Okay.
That's what she comes out of this with. She needs an assistant.
Elias is more than willing to be of help after you all have saved his life.
Excellent. We've made a friend.
Sidekick brothers.
Yeah, as long as he proves himself and doesn't do foolish, stupid stuff again.
Right.
And what I'm going to do is Toothpick is surprised within the next week with a brand new boat and a massive bag of chicken.
He of course is thrilled with this, and he loves having a new boat.
And he doesn't know where it's from.
Okay. He's like, he can maybe assume, but he's like really happy because his boat sank. You guys came back in the one or two boats of the bad guys, which you could promptly have sold or keep for yourselves. But he's got a fancy new boat. He's all bandaged up and doing okay. He's healing up all right, and there you have it.
Thank you, Mia.